What's the worst thing someone has ever done to you? I once cried after witnessing my little sister hide under a desk after my aunt had a big fight with her husband. I was left to take care of her as my mum had to break up the fight. That night I told my ex-boyfriend about it and asked if he was free to call. He simply told me, "I'll call you later. I'm watching my friend play some hentai games right now." We broke up weeks after that, and he told me the reason why he wanted to break up was because I was immature. When I was almost 2 years old, my maternal grandmother sold my desperate parents a trailer she knew was about to be repossessed. She took all the money they had left and ran, leaving my parents, me, and my infant brother homeless. Afterwards, my uncle personally trucked our stuff across the country to his and my aunt's house at their expense, which is one of the nicest things anybody has done for me. He betrayed my trust. He lied to me about not cheating in exams, while everyone accused him of doing so. I defended him to people solely because he told me he didn't. I took his word for it and blindly believed it. It seems childish, but he made me look like a naive fool in front of those people when our teacher caught him cheating a few days. Childhood sexual abuse by my brother. When I finally got the courage to tell my mum, she first denied it, then relented and said, "Thanks for ruining the one thing I thought I got right raising my children." The worst part is that sometimes at my lowest, I think about letting them back into my life so I could have a family again. I think threats are bad. It's like a mock execution. You never know that. If you go in the building, will you come out again? Will anyone find your body? Is this the last sandwich you will eat? It's a pretty bad place to be. I actually started using my friends as them to walk around with me. It's a sad life. During an argument, my ex-husband told me that I'd never be a great mother. For me, this was the start of the end of our marriage and building resentment. He knew how to hit below the belt with no merit or real reason about this. I've been divorced now 7 years and these words still haunt me. My dad took all the money out of my bank account, ignored my calls about it, and then said it was to pay bills when really he was buying meth. My biggest advice for a young person is to get your own bank account the second you turn 18. Don't trust your parents. They will take your money. In 2nd grade, my older brother purposefully hopped onto the Minecraft server me and my friends had spent hundreds of hours in and nuked it with TNT. He ruined it. Since he was on my account, all of my friends said it was me, and then I had no friends now. I was in a financial bad situation. My mother had passed and I never knew my father, and my aunt complained that she's done more for me than her own kids. Still takes my breath away. But they say only family can hurt you that way. My dad abused me for years until I moved out, and it's been a bumpy ride healing from that. He's only ever hugged me one time I could remember, and I hate that I even remember it because I don't want to think about him at all. When I was little, my dad smiled every time before he beat me. So now I flinch every time someone smiles. People always look at me weird when I look scared at them being happy. I hate it. I really do. I suffer from PTSD due to having spent 3 years in a physically, psychologically, and sexually abusive relationship. I could probably rattle off a few answers to this question. Someone I'm not friends with anymore is proud he almost got arrested by harassing a YouTuber. He tried roping me into his revenge by trying to say his revenge was my idea. My dad used to hit me with a belt and then get out his camcorder to record me crying in pain, humiliation, threatening to show my classmates, friends, etc. People will try to kill me, and because of luck and a tiny bit of skill they didn't succeed. The only time I ever hurt is when someone betrayed my trust. A doctor didn't review my CT scan report in its entirety. This led to the cancer growing unchecked for over 4 years. A hospital used a non-sterilized tool on my mom during surgery and gave her an awful infection. It never went away. My father tried to turn me into him. Let's just say he has a record with women and prison. At the end of an argument with an abusive ex, she spat in my were called, forcing divorce on me after I was diagnosed with MS. But only after having a new girlfriend. When I was younger, someone threw my new shoe my mom bought for me up the roof of our church. Fell in love. Divorced my husband. to be with a man who ended up not wanting to be with me.